afternoon to the respectful speaker and the honorable judges. I am Airy Rasheesha from Sman Negeri 58 Jakarta, and I'm stand here as the opposition team. Ladies and gentlemen, the motion for today's debate is government should provide significant financial incentives for urban citizens to move to rural areas. As the opposition team, I agree with the metropolitan and urban cities definition defined by the proposition team. But however, this House disagrees with the motion at all costs. In response to the proposition team's arguments, I would like to give a rebuttal. The proposition team stated that in metropolitan city, the citizens should pay a high cost of living. But if the government moved the citizens to rural areas, it will need a high cost of living. Two, even if the government provide a high incentive, because of what? Because we cannot make sure that with the money, the citizen would move to a rural area, since the metropolitan or urban city is the economic center. They definitely choose to live in a city with a high living cost but with a high income too. So it's well balanced. If the government moved the citizen to a rural area, it will cost even much more. This is because the rural area lacks proper infrastructure yet. The government would have to build new infrastructure such as roads, hospitals, schools, and any other infrastructure. This would require a significant amount of investment, which would only add to the already high cost of relocation, and it will be like double cost if the government built infrastructure in the rural areas and still give an incentive for the citizen to move to that rural areas. Therefore, it is not a feasible solution for the government to relocate citizens from metropolitan to rural areas. It would only lead to a higher cost of living for citizens and significant financial burden for the government. Secondly, the proposition team stated that metropolitan city is overpopulated. But it has happened because the people from the rural areas or from village move to cities and make the metropolitan cities overpopulated. But why does they move to the metropolitan or urban cities? Because in metropolitan and urban city, they will get paid more than in a rural area, just like I said in my first point. So the effective solution for this case is government should create an equal distribution of minimum income standards without forcing citizens in urban cities or in citizens in metropolitan cities to move to the rural areas. And if you say it will give the same impacts with giving incentives to urban citizens to move to a rural area, then it's a no. Because with the minimum income standards regulation, it will cost less than move citizens to a rural areas. Next, it has taken so much time to move the center of community's life to a rural areas. It's like a new areas, new community's life. Because just like I said in my first point, the rural areas doesn't have any infrastructure yet. And if the government still want to move the citizen to a rural areas, before there is an adequate infrastructure, they will not get a decent life. Or if the citizen move during the infrastructure development, their health condition would be very worrying because they were exposed to an infrastructure construction waste. And if the government moved the citizen after the infrastructure development done, it will take so much time, maybe like 20 years or maybe more than 20 years. So this House strongly disagree with the motion because it's not an effective way to make the metropolitan and urban cities population does not exceed the limits. And as the proposition teams mentioned, rural area is a source of natural resource income. So what will happen in the next 50 years if the rural area is continuing a massive development? The rural areas would become new metropolitan city and that will be overpopulated just like the metropolitan cities now. And if it happened, the natural resource income will be completely drained and cannot be used as it used to be because it is affected by infrastructure development and it will affect the state's income and the public welfare. So this House believes that rural areas' natural resource income must be protected. Nextly, the proposition team stated that the people go where the money go. But in this case, it's not that easy to make a sudden development in some areas. The investor will first see how much profit they will get if they invest in the area, and it depends of how the area, the public behavior, the public spend how much the public spend, and any other things. And my question is, can the government ensure that the area will become a good economic center to the investors, as the people who will live located in that area is a people who are the moving community without any income and expense that will benefit the investor. The people who move to that areas definitely haven't got a job or an income for a month or a year. They will just have the money that governments gave them when they moved. So the investor maybe will think twice about investing or setting up a branch company in that area. Unless the area is intended for upper class people, the possibility for companies to invest will be higher. But in this case, the area is not for the upper class people, but for reducing the overpopulating in a metropolitan city. So what is the solution for reducing this overpopulation in the metropolitan and urban city? The government should make minimum income standards, regulation, and equitable distribution of infrastructure and infrastructure improvement so that the people don't move to metropolitan city just to get a job or just to living their best life. And the solution is completely different with giving money as incentive to move citizens to rural areas, because equitable distribution will make the population distribution is evenly distributed naturally without coercion and make the society more prosperous. People who live hard lives in urban areas will move by themselves to where they want without any coercion. And this solution will prevent double cost, which is infrastructure development in one rural areas and incentive money as the incentive for every each citizen to move to the rural areas, as I explained in the beginning of my argument. Ladies and gentlemen, before I rest my case, I would stress out that today's motion should not stand, and this House strongly disagree with the motion. Thank you.